Hi, good day to you and welcome to my channel where I tutor you in science for free. The topic in this video will be redox, which is short for oxidation and reduction. RD for reduction and OX for oxidation. So there are four perspectives to think of oxidation and reduction. Sometimes when a chemical or a reagent, or simply put an atom, when they undergo a reaction, they can be oxidized or reduced. There are four ways to look at this. Number one, through the gain or loss of oxygen. So if you gain oxygen, of course you are oxidized. If you lose oxygen, you are reduced. So in this example, sulfur gains oxygen. We say that the sulfur has been oxidized. And in this example, we see that copper has lost oxygen. We say that copper has been reduced. And so we can see that in this example, aluminum had no oxygen from the start and it gains oxygen later. So it was oxidized while copper has been reduced. So when a reaction where both of these happen at the same time, it is called a redox reaction. Okay, next will be loss or gain of hydrogen. Oxidation, when substance loses hydrogen. Reduction, when substance gains hydrogen. So in this example, sulfur loses hydrogen, it is said to have been oxidized. And in this example, chlorine gains hydrogen, it is said to have been reduced. Okay, third will be the loss and gain of electrons. So of course, gaining electrons will be reduced, losing electrons will be oxidized. And lastly, in changes in oxidation state, when a substance gains oxidation state from perhaps 0 to +1, it is oxidized. -1 to 0 is also called oxidized. Reduction will be a loss in oxidation state. So +1 to 0 or 0 to -1, so on and so forth. So in cases like the transition metals, they can express themselves in various oxidation states. So don't get confused when you see such things happening. Next, we'll be talking about oxidizing and reducing agent. So this is where it gets a little bit confusing. So you can imagine, say, a property agent has 3 houses and sells you 1 house. The agent has 1 less property and you have 1 more of property. You gain and the agent lost. So similarly, oxidizing agent is a substance that causes another substance to be oxidized. It oxidizes others, in the process getting itself reduced. And on the other hand, a reducing agent reduces other substance, getting itself oxidized. So here are some common examples, not necessarily to have to commit them to memory, just have to be familiar with them. Perhaps the most common ones will be this. This will be covered in the metals chapter. Hydrogen, this provides the hydrogen. This provides the electrons. This receives electrons. Okay, so next, how do we test for an oxidizing agent? We use potassium iodide, Ki, which itself is a reducing agent. So if you add the Ki into the solution, the sample, if the iodide ion has been oxidized into aqueous iodine, it will show the brown color. So a positive test expresses itself as the brown color. When you see brown, means there is the presence of an oxidizing agent. On the other hand, if you want to test for a reducing agent, you use acidified KMnO4, potassium manganate 7. For gases, we need to use the filter paper soaked with acidified KMnO4. Introduce the filter paper to the sample. If it turns from purple to colorless, means there is a presence of a reducing agent. The manganate ion, manganate +7 ion, becomes a manganate +2. It will undergo a change of color from purple to colorless. If it is for solution, we can just add acidified KMnO4 into the sample, and if it changes from purple to colorless, we can say that the sample is a reducing agent. And before I end the video, there is this vocabulary I would like to introduce to you, which is a disproportionation reaction. A disproportionation reaction is when a substance undergoes oxidation and reduction together. So a very common way to look at this is, it is one entity on the reactant side, it becomes 2 entities in the product side. And that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Do give it a like and subscribe and share it with somebody who needs to see this. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye!